This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Hello, the three of you here. Can you guys hear me? It says I am having connection issues already. Can you guys hear me? Raise your hand or give me an emoji if you can. Okay, thank you, Ellie. We'll get started here, everybody, soon, shortly, everybody. As soon as we get a few more people on, and then of course, Silk, if you guys don't mind reposting the space, we'll get started here in a little bit. Thanks, guys. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I am the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Silk in the house from Silk, from this Diamond and Silk show. So please, everybody, if you have a question you want to ask Silk, feel free over here on X to request a mic, and I will unmute your mic, and you can ask Silk your question. And hello, Rumble over there. For all of you on Rumble listening, if you have a question for Silk, write it in the comment box below, and I will read those to her as well. Silk typically gives us about 45-50 minutes of her time because she then goes on over to Lindell TV to do her little chitty chat line over there. I think it starts at 10 p.m. No, is it 10 p.m.? Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check her out, everybody. If you guys aren't following her, give her a follow. She's an amazing person because has become a great friend, and she is just a hoot. If you've not been in the spaces with her before on my lives, she's a great guest to have and just a lot of fun. Also, to everybody, we are being listened to in over 100 countries. So if you guys have anybody that wants to listen to the replay, or you feel come into the chat here late and you want to listen to the replay, you can listen to the replay over on the Podcast hosts are all my social medias, which are iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Also, the social medias are Jenny Dreed Facebook, at Jenny_Dreed X, at JDreed Rumble, at JDreed True Social, at JDreed Instagram, The Revival of America on YouTube, and The Revival of America over on Telegram. Also, too, everybody, I do several of these podcasts, whether it be through Rumble, Telegram here, and I am seeing some imposters out there on all these platforms. So if you get somebody reaching out to you, impersonating me, pretending it's me. I've been seeing some fake accounts and letting you guys know it's not me. Please block report them. If you get an email or a DM or something, somebody asking you saying it's me, if you're ready for the scare bit, any financial, any stuff like that, crypto. Again, block and report those people as well, guys. Let me know so I can make sure they're not in any of my channels. So when I do these spaces or live chats over in Telegram or podcasts in general, I can boot them out of there real quick because everybody, these scammers are getting more creative by the day, and we really got to protect ourselves, guys, because it's really scary. Many of my audience members have shared stories with me of them being scammed for their livelihoods or a lot of money, and it's very unfortunate. I mean, these scammers are going to the point of submitting stories to me of their journey through this or just in life. They've not known where to go to share their story, have a platform. So they reach out to me at TROA submissions at yahoo.com and they give me a fake story. So I do vet through my stories, everybody. If you do have a story, a journey, you want to reach out to me and let me know so we can get your story on the show. Let me know through TROA submissions at yahoo.com. I do vet them. I will reach out to you if I believe it's legitimate through an email, and we'll get your voices, your stories heard on the show, because remember, everybody, it's your voice, your story. It's going to help shape this new world that we're coming into. And also for those of you that have reached out to me with questions regarding Fields, McConnell, John Baxter, whatever it is, I'm centralizing everything. So please email me directly at the revival of America at yahoo.com. That's where I'm answering all my emails and getting back to you in a quicker fashion, because I'm just so busy. I have a day gig, so I'm kind of all over the place. I'm just trying to centralize everything. So with that, everybody, we'll wait for Silk to come on in here. Once she does, we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, she gives us about 45, 50 minutes of her time. And if you have a question for her on X over here, request a mic. I will unmute your mic. Otherwise, Rumble over here, type your question over in the question or the comment area, and I will read those to her as well at some point. So hang in there, everybody. She should be popping in here anytime soon. And if you guys don't mind, since we're getting more of you to pop in here on the space, I don't know what happened to the music at the beginning of this space. It wasn't there, but if you guys don't mind reposting the space, liking and sharing it out, we get some more people in here to listen to Miss Silk. Because like I said, she's a great time. She's a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. While we wait here, I'm going to play my theme song that many of you guys have already heard. Carmen, many of you know her as Carmen over here on X. She wrote this song, and then Health, Wealth, and Abundance put it together with the music. So it's pretty awesome. So check it out, guys. In God, we trust. Now it's time to stand up, speak out, and be heard. In a world that's tired and broken, where the truth gets pushed aside, where the voices in the darkness, where the fire we will not hide, from the peace in the streets we're rising, with our hands and hearts held high. This is more than just a moment. This is freedom's battle cry. No more silence, no more fear. We were born for times like these. This is the revival. Hear the people call. Freedom standing tall. We will not fall. We rise together. One and all stand. Speak out here. Let's sustain this world. This is the revival. And we won't back down. No, we won't back down.
From the kitchen tables praying to the streets where justice cries, with a backbone to this nation, with conviction in our eyes. You remember who we are and the price of liberty. Not by hate, but hope and courage to defend what must stay free. This is where healing starts. This is the revival. Where the people come, standing tall. We will not fall, we rise again. One and all, stand, speak out, we are. Let's say, there's the world, this is the revival. And we won't back down, we won't back down.
And hello, everybody. Again, Silk is in the house, so I went ahead and stopped that because she does, like I said, she gives us about 45 to 50 minutes of her time. So I want to welcome Silk to the stage. What's up, girlfriend?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much
How
for
are you?
having
That was my theme song. A good friend of mine wrote it for me, so I was just playing it for a little bit until you got in here.
me. Okay, sounds amazing.
Yeah, how are you? Happy belated Easter.
Same to you. I'm doing great. I had a great Easter weekend. Incredible. I went fishing. I caught me three big old huge catfish.
Look
I
at
had a
you.
great, yeah, yeah, I had an amazing time. I surely, surely did. But I'm glad to be back.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you back. And yeah, everybody, Silk had to reschedule. We had to reschedule her last show. So super stoked that she's back. She's always a fun time, everybody. So uh, besides Easter, and look at you all domesticated over there. You got the chickens, you're going fishing. Like, I would love to be a fly on the wall to see you out there fishing.
Oh my goodness. It's incredible, especially when I catch one and I catch a big one. It's like, whoa, buddy.
Do
I
you clean
love
it
it.
too? Do you get all the guts and shit out of it?
Oh no, 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 no. My husband, he bait my hook and he cleans the fish and then I cook the fish. I fry the fish. That's how that operates.
I love it. I love it. So what
Mhm.
else has been going on, Sil? We got a lot of stuff going on in the world, and we got Iran. They're not going along with the ceasefire. They're violating it. Like a lot of stuff is going on, but so much positive is happening as well.
So much positive is happening. Unfortunately, we have a lot of people that don't know how to be true to the cause. You know, they like to sit back, they talk a good game, but they don't walk a good game. You know, and I mean, we have that everywhere, but unfortunately, we have a lot of it. And I guess they call themselves a so-called MAGA because they're not straight MAGA. They're not a straight Trump supporter. They wishy-washy, straddle the fence, and really just intruders is what I would say. But President Trump is doing an amazing job, and people don't realize when President Trump is playing 3 and 4D chess, everybody is yapping about this, yapping about that, but they don't understand what's truly going on behind the scenes of everything. And Trump, when I look at President Trump, the reason why my sister and I love him so much is because he reminds us of us. He reminds me of myself. You know, whenever I am negotiating and strategizing and doing things strategically, especially if I have a monster that wants to attack me, and I'm trying to negotiate with that monster, and you know, get on the good foot with that individual. Sometimes you have to come down to that individual level so they can understand the words that's coming out of your mouth. And President Trump is like this. Come on, let's do this. Let's negotiate. Let's make this happen. Let's work this out. All right. This is what you want. All right. Let's do this right here. This is what we want. Okay. We agreed to this. Okay. We got this. But as soon as they mess up, I'm telling you, just how President Trump operates. We liable to wake up one morning and he done set off the father of all bombs. He already did the mother of all bombs in his first term. He set off the father of all bombs in this term. Because he's you know, you get fed up at the time when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Some things is gonna happen. President Trump is, like I say, about like myself. I'm a stack the deck against you, And then when that time, that opportunity comes, you're not going to even see it coming. You're not going to even see when it happened. I'm going to take that whole deck of stack and just knock you right on out with one punch. So I trust President Donald J. Trump. Of course, I trust God, and I trust God have President Trump here for such a time as this, and he's going to get the job done. And what we got to do is pray for his success, pray for our success. And Jenny, I've actually just basically turned off a lot of TV. I just turned off a lot of the news, a lot of the media, because they don't even know what they're talking about. They're not there in the room with President Trump getting the intel and so forth as to what's going on. They're not there with Pete Hegseth to see what's happening, what's going on. So a lot of people is just yapping. They don't even know what's going on. So I listened to President Trump. I listened to his press conference with Caroline Levitt. And that's where I get my news pretty much from. And if they are okay, then I'm okay. Okay, and let them do their job. That's how I operate. And I think everybody need to operate like that if you want to have a peace of mind and stay sane.
Yeah, I agree with you. I tell my audience all the time. I used to say, tighten up that circle, everybody. Follow 3 to 5 people that haven't gotten you, they haven't misled you through your journey. Now I'm saying 2 people, 1 to 2 people, and or 1 to 3 people. Sorry, I don't even know. I say it all the time, but first and foremost, God above, and then really anything Donald Trump, because he really is telling us without telling us. And I'm like you. Silk, unless Donald Trump, our president, has confirmed it, like the Pam Bondi situation, a lot of people were real quick to want to be the first one to report it, and kind of jumping the gun. I'm not like that. I'm waiting for Donald Trump to, whether he confirms it via True Social, because we know we're not going to get it on the line stream media, right?
No.
Or he comes out and does like a press conference. So I'm right there with you. I'm tightening things up within myself and my audience of who am I posting from, and sharing stuff with, because again, we're seeing a lot of these fakesters, like you briefly touched on at the beginning of the show, that they'd fall into the wayside. I mean, we saw it with Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're seeing it with so many, and even some of these quote unquote influencers, fake influencers. Some of them we have followed and have posted from. I'm hearing, be careful of them. They're plagiarizing. They're doing this. They're not either. They're the forever haters of Trump, but they're coming out acting as if they're supporters of Trump. So yeah, it's getting wild out there. So I have made that decision within myself, and what I want to do with my audience is just kind of, keep it within, like you said, the White House, Caroline Levitt, Donald Trump. If he hasn't said it, if he hasn't confirmed it, then it's not true in my mind.
That's right. I watch his Truth Social, and I wait for him to post on it, and leave it at that. I know whenever they did the rescue mission the other night, I said something is going on. I could see, with all of the chatter. I said something is going on, and before I went to sleep, I told my husband, I said, let me go back on here and see who he done bombed up, and that's when he said he had posted, "We got him." I said, okay, now I get to see what the truth is, what's really happening, because they want to say he was in a hospital, this, that, and all of this other different stuff. I said, well, ain't nobody called me. I know I would have gotten some type of call or something if he was in a hospital. What are they doing? So I just shut everything off, and then right before I went to sleep, I said, let me see who he done bombed. And sure enough, they was on a mission, and they got rescued the individual that was that went down over there. And I'm grateful that we have a president in office to tell us what's happening, and he will tell us in his own time, unlike the previous regime under Jim Crow Joe Biden, that didn't tell us nothing but call us all domestic terrorists, and kept us in the dark. He kept us all as American citizens in the dark. And when we found out the egg prices were so high, you couldn't even buy a carton. The gas prices were so high, it was crazy. I mean, I remember when gas was $6 and $7. I didn't hear not one Democrat complaining about it. Now gas is what they say is up around $4. Now I hear them crying and complaining. I'm like, look, hold up. When Joe Biden, you sat your ass there for 4 years and you didn't say not one word. So you shut the entire hell up when it comes to President Donald J. Trump. He's doing what is necessary and what needs to be done. And sometimes you have to, when you're uprooting something that's been there for 47 years, for a very long time, the ground is bound to shake. Something is bound to just be off until you after you unroot it, then you get that soil right. And then guess what? You can go ahead on and replant something so it can finally grow there. So people just wake up, pay attention, and stop listening to all of the news media, because unfortunately the news, even though the news is supposed to report the news, what they're doing is giving you their opinion about something. And that's not how the news media is supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to happen. They're supposed to report the news, period.
Amen. And we know they're not. So what do you foresee happening? We see this whole thing with the ceasefire, and then he just talked about NATO not being there for us. So we're not going to be there for them. I think he's getting ready to pull out of that. What are your thoughts?
Most definitely. I thought, didn't he pull out before, back in 2000 when his first term?
Yeah, I think so.
And Joe Biden stuck us back up in there. Let me tell you something. You can't keep supporting something that's stony ground. You can't keep giving your money away to some group of people. And then when it's time for them to, when you're in a situation and you're looking to land your planes and so forth, and they deny you that, hold up, I done gave you all this money. I've been supporting you, been protecting you, and we can't land our planes here. You want to turn your back on us. Hey, why do you have a dime of our money? So NATO, once again, I look at it as a left-leaning group, or the arm of the Democrat Party, for them to take and launder money, in my own humble opinion, and to act like they are the police of everything, and to keep everybody just basically locked down into bull crap. So that's how I look at them, and I'm glad that he's pulling out and pull our money right on out with them as well. They shouldn't receive not one damn dime, not one red cent of American money when it comes down to NATO and anybody else that don't want to go along with what President Trump is trying to do to help save America and to help save lives when it comes down to the individuals that's been in captivity over there in Iran.
Well, and it's like I say a lot to my audience. Things aren't always as they seem either, everybody. So I think we need to stay focused, head on a swivel, stay in prayer for sure. But again, like Silk was saying, and I say all the time, Trump's movements. Pay attention to what he's saying. Pay attention to his movements. He's got the coolest. He's just so calm and collective. His demeanor. He's got his comedy behind it all. So if he's not worried, then we certainly shouldn't be worried. And again, at the end of the day, this is God's plan. He wins, and just have faith.
And President Trump is so transparent; you can see right through him. You can see his action when he's talked, the way he moves. I can tell when he's mad. I can tell when he's tired. I've learned him just that well. And if you take and you pay attention, you will know what's truly going on. As it pertains to this ceasefire, President Trump don't have time for games. Like I said, we're liable to wake up one morning and the father of all bombs have been dropped, and there's no more Iran regime. Because see, in my mind's eye, the way I'm seeing this happen is that, President Trump is very strategic. It's a matter of putting people in certain places to see who's all in the middle of this, keeping this mess going. And that's who we're going to have to terminate. We'll be hearing something real soon, in my opinion. But let President Trump be Trump and continue to negotiate. We want peace in the Middle East. But for the bully that's in the Middle East, creating all of the mess that's going on and reaping the havoc, let President Trump do what he needs to do, and pray for him, pray for our troops, pray for our military. And that's basically all that we can do. And support President Trump. I support him because look, who else you going to support? a doggone party that's okay with chopping off little boys' balls. I mean, who else you gonna support? A party that's okay with killing unborn babies, sex trafficking, human trafficking, wanting to tell you that a man can get pregnant. You gonna go and support that instead of supporting President Trump, who support America and Americans? Okay, so I support President Trump to the fullest. He has not failed us yet. He's been doing everything that we, the American people, want. Now, unfortunately, we have what I call trans Republicans. They're nothing but Democrats posing as Republicans or identifying as Republicans, and they're not doing absolutely nothing for the will of the people, but they're doing everything for these doggone illegal aliens. That's what I see happening. So support President Trump and support our country and support humanity is what I say.
Yeah, and let him cook, let him do his thing, guys. There's a method. I always say there's a method to his madness, but it's really greatness, and he's always 1,000 steps ahead of everybody. So let him and stay out
That's
of the
right.
noise, you guys. Stay out of the minutia. There's a lot of it, and I'm going to give you an example here. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit off topic, but I got a message sent to me in regards to Silk here. There was something circulating. I sent it to her team about her no longer being with us. It just goes to show how one post or comment, how it gets put out there, circulated, like as if she's no longer with us. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I'm watching her live right now, but let me go ahead and send this to her assistant. And so of course I did right away, and you got to shut that stuff down right away. So don't be so quick to believe the first thing that you see, because there's a lot of that out there, and we're gonna see
Yeah.
probably more of it. So just be careful. And again, be careful. You listen to who you follow and where you put in your mind. I say that for a reason, because it's a thing.
Yeah, and let me just piggyback on what you just said about that particular post there on Facebook. I look at how Facebook allowed that post to be up, even though people was reporting that post as a lie. They allowed it to be up for that post to go viral. Okay, all right. Now, if I would have posted something like "I'm alive," guess what? Facebook would not allow people to see it. They would have censored my page. They would. That's how they operate. So what I did is I said, you know what? I got to let bad news become good news. Let me tell you something. People was coming to my page. It was the most traction I was getting in a very, very long time, checking to see if I was dead. And I said, okay, I'm just gonna let you. I said the devil might have meant it for evil, but I'm gonna turn this thing around for my good, and I'm gonna go ahead on and get that traction. That's exactly what I did. People can think whatever they want to think. They're gonna say whatever they want to say, but don't fall for the okie doke. Don't go down the rabbit hole of everything that you see and you hear unless you truly know for sure. Okay, so there you have it.
Well, we're so glad you're with us, Silk. Of course,
I'm
that
glad
would
to be here,
that would be
girl.
horrible.
Yeah, they really made it. They had my picture of my sister and me up there, like we both done had them passed away. That's the second part of it. I'm like, you know what? People can make up some stuff, but once again, the saddest part is that social media allowed it to be there, even though people was posting and reporting it and saying that it's a fake post. Now, this particular page is supposed to be some type of page where it posts fake stuff. You mean to tell me there's a page allowed to be on social media that literally posts fake information and hadn't been fact checked as many times as Diamond Silk, and our page has been fact checked just for having an opinion? Just for having an opinion about something, we was fact checked. But you got a whole page up there getting thousands upon thousands of views and engagement and stuff. That's the very, very sad part about the whole ordeal.
Amen to that. Also, to everybody, if you guys have a question for Silk, feel free to raise your hand. I'll give you mic here on X. Over here on Rumble, if you have a question, write your question in the comment box. I want to say hi to Silent. How are you, Mr. Silent?
All good. Been working my ass off all day.
Oh, well,
You know,
now it's time to
you know.
cool that ass down.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Oh yeah, the lumber business is nuts right now in Texas, guys. It's crazy. I can't even keep up. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I ain't gonna bore y'all with that. I got a question for Silk. What's up,
Go ahead.
Silk? Yeah.
What's up? What's up?
Okay. Okay. I have a conspiracy theory. You
Okay.
know, and so here's my question.
Okay.
I was doing some digging, and and I mentioned this in my space last night. The third largest expenditure of the United States government is military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Next to Social Security and Medicare.
Right.
I'm seeing some plays, and I saw it today, and it was like a little it's like a little nugget, right? Where Trump put it out there. Well, maybe we can cut a deal with Iran and charge for passage through the Strait of Hormuz, right? Like, okay, so Iran came out and said we want $1 a barrel and we want it in crypto, and Trump comes out and says, well, maybe we can cut a deal with Iran and have a joint benefit, a win-win situation. To me, that's a calm, okay? And what that calm to me means, and I've been sensing it for a while, is that he's going to use our military as a income generating asset versus just a cost, which is what we've had for.
Most definitely.
That's what I'm
Most
thinking. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on that, ma'am. And then back
definitely.
and real quick to your, and then I'm gonna be real quick to when you died. You
Yeah.
got hit. You got hit by a catfish. All right. You got poisoned. All right. And then the other thing that, and this is something that I just want to bring to your attention, and maybe you can think about it and maybe come back to us later and then answer that question I had for you about using the military as a income generating source. But we need some help getting people involved locally. We need some influencers. I'm not an influencer. I'm like a little guy. I'm in the lumber business. I got, I don't know, 10 or 11,000 followers. I do a space every now and then. But we need people like you to get people involved locally because we got this goddamn midterms coming up, and we got to make sure we don't lose the House and the Senate. And girl, if you could help us with that, that'd be much appreciated. And then back to the question. Uh, what do you think about Trump using the military as an income
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
generating asset?
Okay. All right. Several questions there. All right. Let me answer that one first. Okay. So the way I've seen my president operate is strategically. Okay. If he go in and do something, he's gonna get something out of it. That's how it should always be. Why should we utilize our military, utilize what we have to go in and do a job and don't get no benefits from it? Okay, just look at how President Trump have operated all around within the last year. Anything we went to do, there was some type of benefit from it. And I believe the same thing will happen when it comes to Iran. I just kind of don't believe that some of the people there in Iran will be alive to do certain things at the end of the day, because there is this particular ideology that's over there that I don't like, and I know President Trump don't like. He don't like, the citizens being held captive, held hostage in tyranny, living in tyranny over there. He wants them living free. So if you got a group of people that's going to continue on with that same mentality, I don't believe that they're going to be there long enough to make a deal with Trump, in my own humble opinion. But I do believe that we will get the oil, in my opinion. Okay.
Did
You
that?
still
Silent? You there? Are you cooling off your butt, your ass,
there?
your
Yeah,
ass
no,
cheeks?
I was listening with the intent to understand what Silk was talking about.
Well, I have to talk in a certain way, because the first thing a person would do is say, Silk said this, Silk said that. No, in my opinion, I believe that President Trump is going to get what he wants. And yes, as when you're talking about using the military to benefit us as America and as Americans, yes, I believe that's happening anyway. That's happening regardless. But when you talk about these different deals with certain Iran individuals that was possibly part of that regime over there, you can't make a deal with evil. You can't make a deal with people that shout death to America. That's going to be hard to do. So sometimes some people may have to be unalived in order for certain things to happen. Did that help you out, Silent?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Oh,
It
okay.
did. It did. And you know the way I look at it too, and the part of the second question I was asking about the local action. You know, I love Trump. We've never had a greater president in the world in the history of the United States than President Trump twice. Hopefully a
Correct.
third time. Hopefully the third time, right? Once we expose 2020.
That's
But
right.
but we owe it to him to get off our asses, get involved, make some shit happen, get out there, educate our people, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take a lot of work. And we need some help motivating people to say, hey, y'all need to get involved. You can get off your front
Well,
porch. You need to get out there.
I got what you're saying, Silent, but a lot of people have been discouraged. They've been discouraged because we've seen no arrests. People are discouraged because nobody's been arrested for the fraud that's already taken place. Now, let me rephrase that when I say nobody's been arrested. Nobody at the top of the fraud. Okay, they've gotten the low hanging fruit, but the people that's facilitating the fraud, like some of these corrupt politicians, have not been arrested. Then when you talk about voting, we still have illegal aliens voting in our systems. And when President Trump say, yo, we want to do the Save American Act, we have a whole group of people that's against it, even some within the Republican Party, because they also benefit from illegal aliens. So as average American citizens, a lot of people are starting to say, what the hell? Why should I waste my time and my energy to go out there and gem up some support and this energy only for these people to cheat in the end? So I truly believe that once our elections are secured and we don't have all of this cheating going on, you will see more people enthusiastic about getting out there to do what they need to do. Now, I understand that the midterms is coming up, and that's why President Trump did his executive order when it came down to the mail-in ballots. But unfortunately, we have a bitch ass named John Thune, that's the Speaker of the Senate, that's not doing nothing. And they're kicking the can down the road when it comes down to the voter IDs and to showing proof that you are a legal U.S. citizen here in America. Those measures have to take place in order for people to want to go out and vote. Okay, in order for people to even want to get together and say, come on, you all, let's go and do this here, let's go do that. Because they did the so-called Republican leaders, they're making President Trump look bad, if you really look at it. President Trump has done what he needed to do. He did the executive orders. We just got some ballless, cowardless, slow ass bitch asses that's just sitting up there in the Senate spreading like butter, doing nothing for the American people and not doing what we want. Now, I bet you if there was bills there on the table about funding illegal aliens, we wouldn't be having this conversation about bills getting passed. But it appears that when it comes down to bills for America and for Americans' benefit, we have trans Republicans that they don't work for our need here in America. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people sitting there in the Congress and in the Senate that are foreigners. They're not from America. They came to America possibly on a visa, went through a certain process to become a citizen or get dual citizenship, but they're not working for the will of the American people. They're actually working for their foreign countries. And I mean, that's a loophole in our system that needs to be plugged up. So back to what you were saying, as far as, getting people like, come on, go vote. The primaries is coming up. The midterms is coming up and all of this stuff. people are like, why should I do that when they are already set to cheat? So once we get that part did, I believe that we'll be okay. And President Trump is working hard to do that.
So real quickly, so because you're correct, people are feeling that way. 'Cause, they feel like their vote has been stolen for quite some time, right? So
Mhm.
we have a lot of people out there advocating, don't go vote, don't vote, and I'm of the thought process, no, go vote.
No. You got to vote.
Yeah,
Because of the situation that we're in right now, we still got to get out there and vote, because that may be the time when they really truly show the fraud, and if they did cheat, it's overturned. Okay. Unfortunately, it didn't happen in 2020. All right. It didn't happen in 2022, but it may happen in 2026. So you still got to get out there and vote. But what Silent is talking about is getting people enthusiastic about doing it. And what I'm saying is that there's a lot of people out there that's like, why should I waste my time getting all of these people involved in it for us all to just get kicked in the face here when our own party, so the so-called Republicans, is not even doing what they need to do for the will of the people. But you have to, we all, at the end of the day, we all have to get out and vote, because our vote is our voice, and our voice is our power. So you got to utilize your power, do what you're supposed to do. That's just like, somebody has come up to me. This is back in the day, because now I don't loan out money, but they needed a loan for some money. All right. I gave them a loan for some money. Well, it's on them to do right by that money, what they said that they needed to do it for. Okay, they might have went out and got some alcohol, might have went out and got some drugs, or might have went out and actually paid the bill that they said that they was going to pay. But at the end of the day, I did my part. I did my part. Okay, so I'll be blessed behind that. So when you go vote, you do your part. All right, and that may be the time that a lot of the stuff get exposed and disclosed, and we get to see who's actually doing what. Do not sit back and talk like, I want this to change, I want that to change, and you don't do nothing. No, you still got to get up and go do your part.
amen. Yeah, for those that don't
Mhm.
vote, you really have no leg to stand on in trying to say anything about what's happening or what's not happening. So everybody, the point is here: go vote. I understand the confusion and not being enthusiastic about it, but you really need to vote, because at the end of the day, 2020 is not over yet. We know Donald Trump signed an executive order about 2 weeks ago about laws already being in place with the mail-in ballots, the paper ballots,
Mhm.
but he's
Mhm.
forcing their hand. We're going to now see it at some point here, I do believe, before the election in November, of the machines.
Yeah.
So I do believe that there is a move coming when it comes to this here before the elections, that will make the 2020 exposed as being fraudulent.
Mhm.
We all know that. What does fraud do? Vitiates everything, null and void. So that will be huge. So thank you for
Yeah.
that, Silk. But yeah, I think, again, if you're hearing people out there, and I want to say it loud and clear, if they're telling you not to vote, you need to have a red flag up about that person, because regardless, I understand the feelings and everything about being frustrated, but you, like Silk says, you have to vote. It's your voice, it's your power, and if you
Yeah.
don't vote, you sure as hell have no reason to say a damn thing about anything that happens in the future or the past that has been and will come. So thank you for that, Silk. I appreciate that.
Welcome. Welcome.
All right, go ahead, Miss Emmy. Your hands up, and then go ahead, Misty, after that.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, excuse me,
Hello.
Silk. I just read your name.
Hey.
Hey, Silent. Hello, everyone. I wanted to ask a question. I love the way you talk. And this Easter, I was, hanging out with family and friends, and I was speaking about Trump and all the things, like all the great things he did. And, they, whoever it was, like they had their thoughts, and I had my thoughts, and then I don't know what came out of me. It was just like I said something like they're trying to crucify him, like he's like they did Jesus on the cross. I mean, seriously, this guy is
Mhm.
trying to save people, and they're literally, that's what I feel like they're doing. I just
Exactly.
I just bursted out of my like the way I spoke it. I don't know why it came out, you know? And so and I'm thinking like these people that are complaining and like create so much noise and stuff, allegedly they care about people, right? So I'm like, okay, look at what he did, you know, Venezuela. You look at how he helped a lot of people in Iran. You see all the people cheering. You see the people in Cuba asking for
Yeah.
us over there. Venezuelans, they're happy. Nicaraguans calling for us. It's a lot. I just see people standing up more and more and just being like, wait, we can ask him for help. And I'm
That's
sure he
right.
can get a benefit from that. But my question is, what's wrong with these people? Not, yeah, like why are they rejecting a blessing? Like I feel like it's just it's so mind-boggling and it's hurtful to see someone get treated like that.
Yeah. And then when you think about Jesus, his own did not even receive him. So let's look at here in the United States here. We got so many here that won't even receive President Donald J. Trump, but people all over the world, like Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, and so forth, want him there. They want him there, and they wish that he was their leader. We have a lot of individuals that's getting paid to act the way that they're acting. And a lot of people have mental illness to act the way that they're acting. Okay. All right. But it's more of us than it is of them. We got to remember that it's more of us than it is of them. And even though a lot of these individuals may be Democrats, there's a lot of Democrats that say, no, I do not go along with what my party lines are. I don't go along with this. And they're coming off that Democrat plantation. But this is allowing them to see what their party is representing. So once again, we are dealing with a lot of crazy people. Those are the voices that's amplified to make it appear like there is so many people that's against President Trump. No, baby, there's a lot of people that absolutely love President Trump. Unfortunately, they have to stay in the closet in order to keep some friends or in order to keep their job. I mean, that's just where we're at. I'm grateful that I am not beholden to nobody but God. I'm grateful, my husband, my family, but I'm not beholden to a corporation where I can't say whatever I want to say. And I can say it how I need to say it. And you call yourself canceling me, then I can turn around and cancel you first. Because I'm not, don't nobody own me. Don't nobody, I'm not working for nobody. You see what I'm saying? So I can say whatever I want to, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can't. But they are closeted Trump supporters.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. So, all right, go ahead, Misty. Go ahead. Your hand's up.
Thank you so kindly. I was just going to make a suggestion. If you want to motivate people in your communities, you can have the kids write an essay why it's important to vote, or how do you want to see your America? And then you get 6 boxes, 3 for a base, 3 to put the essays on. You make columns and you have people walk through and read all of them. And then they go into an area. You have your candidates. You can give them information. You can give them tasks to do. We've got to start teaching people how to engage and make a difference by using their voice. And so this is one way. And yes, you raise money for a prize amount for the students to win, and the candidates could each take a turn, or they get to pick their favorite one, and then they read it, and they have the child come up and and whatnot. But it's a great way to do that. Don't forget that your libraries have space and rooms to rent out, and you don't have to worry about parking. You have air conditioned. They're about $20 an hour. Well, in Arizona, it's $20 an hour. And if you do it during their business hours, if you want after hours, they even allow that. You do have to pay a higher fee for a security guard, but it is allowed. So we do have reasonable ways to have spaces and conduct, do a God and country where there's praise
and there's talk about what's going on in your communities, and you bring people, you invite them to a God and Country town hall or a God and Country picnic, and you have praise and you have singing, and you talk about politics, because we got to get Christians involved too. And so these are just suggestions. Silk, you're amazing. I love all that you do, and I am in awe. And so I will end there. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Misty. And those are very, very good, great ideas. I mean, incredible ideas. But the only issue that I see and foresee, and I'm not trying to throw mud in the water, but what I'm saying is that what I have found is that there's a lot of our institutions, especially when it comes down to our schools, that is entrenched with evil, with demonicism, to the point where they don't want you to even voice your opinion or be in a room to voice your opinion on those grounds. Hopefully that will change, and more people can be able to congregate in different places outside of just the church. But there's a lot of our institution that's been sieged by evil, and but if you can find one that will allow you to do what Missy have suggested, I think that's a great idea.
If I could clarify and give another suggestion, is you don't necessarily have to go through the schools. You can tell the parents, hey, come and sign, if your kids want to join up, you do some little radio ads, get your local radio stations, and you say, hey, come into whatever your office is, or the candidate's office, or who's ever doing, whatever your organization that's trying to do this, if you belong to one or need to create one, or ask somebody to be a co-sponsor and have people come in and sign in, and that's where they turn the essays into. You can bypass the school system and just make it out to the community and stuff. And so because we got to figure out ways around that, because yes, our schools systems and our education department definitely need a cleanup. And so you're absolutely correct in that. So it's just a way to kind of sidestep that. So thank you. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Misty. All right. Anybody here have a question for on X over here? If you have a question for Silk, please feel free to raise your hand, and we'll get you up here on stage. You can ask Silk your question. Rumble over there. If you have any questions, please write your question in the comment box, please, and thank you. Real quick, Silk, if you want to touch a little bit, because we talk about these fake influencers, podcasters, whatever. We're seeing a lot of the disdain and the never Trumpers, all of a sudden Trumpers, no longer Trumpers. What are your thoughts on all of this stuff? We see Megyn Kelly, stumbling on her toes again regarding, I think, Trump's very, hey, listen, I was all for his aggressive True Social regarding the Iran situation, and she's coming out and kind of going against it, and it's not just her. We've got the Tuckers, we got all these people in the world, right? Of these so-called influencers. What are your fakesters, if you will? What are your thoughts on all of this?
Well, opinions. The people opinions is just like assholes. Everybody have one.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with people, voicing their opinion about whatever. But when we talk about being a supporter, one thing that President Trump is love is loyalty. And one thing about Diamond and Silk, we're loyal supporters of President Donald J. Trump, meaning we literally support him. Now, if you remember Megyn Kelly or Kelly Megyn, whatever her name is, back in 2015, that's when Diamond and Silk came out, and we went off on Megyn Kelly because that was part of the debate, and so she was never a Trump supporter.
Correct.
Individuals like Megyn Kelly, Miss Candace Owens, Mr. Tucker Carlson, they've said a lot of damnable things as it pertains to Trump. But what I deem a lot of individuals like that is clout chasers. They're clout chasers. They like to hang on the ass of Trump to gain some clout, and then they come back and try to gain some more clout by putting out their opinion so they can get the most clicks. You see what I'm saying? So they can say whatever they want to, however they want to say it or whatever. But at the end of the day, people know who's really truly loyal to President Donald J. Trump. All you got to do is look at their social media platform and see. With me, if you look at mine, yeah, they post articles, but you would know when I say something. I typically sign off as Silk whenever I say something. And if I'm quiet about something, I'm quiet about it for a particular reason. And that's because I'm praying and for the success of whatever President Trump is doing or going through to get it done. And that's what we as President Trump supporters need to do. But everybody coming out, oh, he shouldn't have said this, he shouldn't have said that. People don't know how to come down to someone level so they can understand. People call President Trump crazy. Well, he showed you crazy. Okay. Is he crazy enough to take out those bridges over there? Hell yeah, he's crazy enough to do it. And he's showing you that he's crazy enough to do just that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? But why am I going to get on my platform and start calling him, oh, he's crazy for this, he's crazy for that, when I know that that's part of strategy? See, individuals, you would think that a Megyn Kelly or a Tucker Carlson, as long as they've been in this game, would know strategy, okay? I've just gotten into 2015 and I know strategy. And that's how I see this as. I don't see it as he shouldn't have said this, he shouldn't have said that. No, sometimes you have to say some things to bring people either up to your level or come down to their level so they can understand it. Real quick, I remember being in beauty school, cosmetology school, and with my parents being preachers and pastors and stuff, I was one of the kind of like the quiet one. I was like the nerd, the bookworm. And I had this one girl that was much taller than me, but she was like the bully. And so she decides she wants to, call herself gonna bully me. Yeah, she's gonna bully. At the time, I was Miss Hardaway. She gonna bully Miss Hardaway. And so she started, picking at me. She started talking about me. I kept on going on about my business, about my love, and going on with my lovely day, trying my best to ignore her. And then she got in my face. I don't know if somebody dared her to get in my face or what, and said some things to me. And instead of me being nice and peaceful, like, oh, please don't do it. Don't you do it. Her name was Bonita Johnson. Don't do it, Bonita. Come on, girl, let's be friends. No. What I did is I cussed her out from the crown of her head to the sole of her feet. I got straight up bowdy. I wasn't acting African American. I was acting straight up black, ghetto. And guess what? She knew that language. When she knew that language, she knew, oh, I better not mess with this girl right here. Yeah. I had to come down to where she was at, meet her to where she understood. Because me saying, okay, or let's be friends, she didn't understand that. But when I got straight up ghetto with her, and nobody hadn't seen me get ghetto and doing all of that cussing, I cussed up a storm on her. She walked right on off and walked away. Then when they turned us in to the director, and we had to go into the director's office. Now, the director's first thing she said, now, Miss Hardaway, they said you was out here doing this and that, and you was cussing. And I said, no, not Miss Hardaway. Y'all are lying. Okay? Because they knew how I was. I was a bookworm. And I had to apologize to the director and say, yes, ma'am. I had to go ahead and cuss Bonita right on out because she got in my face. She crossed the line. And my director, she said she understood. And that was the end of that. But Bonita, she ain't never bothered me no more. Because she knew I'm one of those silent ones. Silent can be violent. Okay. And once you cross that line, that's a wrap, baby. I'm going, I wanted to say the F word. See, but I will
say it, girly.
I will fuck you right on up and think absolutely nothing about it. Oh, girl.
You're my cousin. You're my cousin Christian.
I'm trying to tell you. I try to stay under the radar. I try to stay under the radar. And back then they used to call me Miss Nene. Nene is what they used to call me. And I'm telling you, I don't like that Nene side to come out. That Nene side come out, that's a wrap, honey. I'm breaking out my hammer and I'm gonna go upside your head. And so I try to just be nice. That's what I'm trying to do, and keep that side of me off limit. Okay, I try to keep it in the closet, but once you open the door, that's a wrap. I don't see absolutely nothing. It's hands off. I'm just going straight up off on you. And,
They got you
that's
fucked up.
they literally, they may think they have the right one, but they got the wrong one, baby. I don't play all of that. I stay to myself. I mind my own business. I'm on my own platform. I say whatever I want to say here. But once you cross that line, that is a true rap. And that's why I'm looking at here with President Trump and Iran. I'm telling you, Iran gonna mess around, and that's when Trump gonna fuck them up.
It's one of those FAFO moments. Let's do it.
That's exactly. He going, ooh, and see, he's stacking the deck. He's stacking the deck. All right, you want to negotiate? Okay, you say you're gonna do this. All right, you say we're gonna do that. Now you don't went here. You don't mess with a whole nother a country over there, and you're doing this and saying that. Okay, now boom, and I'm telling you, we liable to wake up, and the father of all bombs have been dropped. I'm telling you. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm right there with you, Silk. It's like, you take stuff to a point and then it's like you got me fucked up. Like you're messing with the wrong one. But
the wrong one.
yeah, I know you have to go, but I want to let everybody know because we did kind of open up the show a little bit about, people saying there's no arrest coming or haven't happened, but there's so many, like Silk said, so many that have happened that are maybe not the ones that you want to see, but there's so many minions out there. This one is from, they have arrested, it looks like a U.S. Special Operations Delta Force veteran, Courtney Williams, for violating espionage. So she looks like leaked some top classified information to a journalist. So
yeah, she's right here in Fayetteville. She's
yep, Fort Bragg. Yep.
Yeah, the leaker is right here in my neck of the woods. I said, well, do Jesus. Right here at Fort Bragg. Yeah, and I'm like, whoa. So there's some stuff coming down the pipeline because President Trump ain't playing. He said he was going to get the person that did it. And it looked like he done got the person that did it.
Well, and and people need to understand, it's not just the top of the echelon that's going to be arrested. There's all these little minions, and that's what they're doing, right? So yeah, there's a lot of indictments out there, and each one of those indictments can contain up to 99 people.
That's right.
There's one more. Did you have time for one more? Or you got to go, Silk.
I got to get on.
Okay,
girl.
she's got to go, Nikki. I apologize, but she's gotta bounce. We know she's gotta go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
DiamondandSilk.com or DiamondandSilkStore.com, and I'm at LindellTV.com. You all, Diamond and Silk Chit Chat live Monday through Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Love you, Jenny. Love everybody. God bless.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.